Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Circle Collective interviews, where I'm interviewing members of the Red Circle Collective to find out more about them, what it is that they're up to, and also some challenge points about what they might be struggling with. The purpose of these interviews is for the Red Circle Collective to get to know the members within its group so that we can refer, we can support, we can find ways that we can engage with each other and rise together because, you know, why not? There is no scarcity in the world unless we're just creating it in our heads.
Mm.
And so, all of these people that I'll be talking to are part of the Red Circle Collective, which is my free membership group for speakers, authors, and coaches who are literally looking to build businesses around what they do. So, yay for John being here with us today. Hey, John. So, why don't you start us off by saying who you are and what it is you do, and let's all practice conciseness, which is like none of the people I know have that going.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so take it away, John.
I'm gonna give it my best shot. Uh, well, first of all, hello again. My name is John Brown. I'm a double bassist and a career musician, also a keynote speaker, aspiring, I guess I'll say in this setting, inspiring keynote speaker. And I've got lots of stories about my life and journey as a musician, as a professor at Duke University, 25 years and counting. And I've traveled the world, have worked with students from K through 12 to higher education, and uh, basically looking to use my experiences in a positive way to have some impact on someone else's life. I've been very blessed in many parts of life and have some experiences from all over the world that are interesting stories that I weave together to share with students who are looking to level up, do the next thing, change careers, and in the corporate space, change management and how to value team members while you're making changes, and to be sure that everybody appreciates that their role is important and what they do is key to the success of the whole. So I guess I'd say I started with being a bassist. I'm gonna end with being a bassist because I'm still very much performing, and now having completed a 5-year stint as a university administrator with some time off to reflect and to head back into the classroom. I'm excited about what the next thing is.
Yeah, and you're an aspiring TEDx speaker as well, looking to get that under your belt.
Yes, indeed. It is that space that I really feel a call. And I've done speaking engagements informally. In fact, just the other day I was looking through to find some pictures to perhaps make some marketing materials. But I've found where I've spoken to Duke Athletics, spoken to the Duke Surgeons Group, many different places across North Carolina, a few places in Virginia and South Carolina where I've just been invited to share my stories. And I want to do more than share my stories. I want to organize my stories so that they again can have some impact. So
Right.
that's that's my North Star.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So you, like many people that I work with, have a lot going on, maybe like a lot to say. And we all start because we hear your story is important. Share your story. I mean, if you look out there as a speaker, right, or an author, it's
Mm-hmm.
always share your story. But the reality is like what story, why that story, and more importantly, I don't know about you, but for me, and I may have shared this with you when we were talking, when I first started speaking, it was all about this whole share the story. And
Mm-hmm.
people would leave blown away. They'd all leave going, wow. And they'd like, cry, like I'm a rock star, woo, all that excitement. But when I started polling them, because I'm kind of that geek, right? Blue blocking, click glasses here. I wanted the data. What did that mean? Was I
Mhm.
just cool, or did I actually give them something that was going to be impactful?
Right.
And as it turns out, I was just cool.
Uh,
And that's not enough for me.
mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
Right.
the real thing for me, that is, I mean, you have already pegged the. I mean, being cool is good. Being cool, I think, may, in the case of some of us, may get us in the door. But I'd like to get back in the door, and I'd like to leave that door with having had some impact.
Right. And so, me just to get on stage and talk and be cool is awesome. As you said, nice dopamine rush. But
Right.
in the long run, did I impact? Did I
Hmm.
help? Did I create some value?
Hmm.
other than a short-term high.
Right.
And yes, so many of the people that I work with, this is relevant. This is
Mhm.
the thing that makes matter. So the challenge then, so you've got the passion, you got the heart, you got the desire and all that. And then the passion is the challenge is what story, how do I create impact? How do I take all of these things that I have that people like to hear, but literally make sure I'm leaving impact? And what you said is get back in the door.
Hmm. That's That's right. And
Right.
that whole concept of, somehow leave them wanting more, or leave it so that they'll want you back. That's in the room as well, because
Yeah.
you want to create multiple opportunities. And uh, in my lingo is build a tribe. I want people to know about what I'm doing and want to hear more about what I'm doing, and to know that what I'm doing may help them do their next thing, or may
Yeah.
inspire them to move the needle on something.
And I think you really nailed it with the as a speaker. If you want a speaking career, it isn't just a one wonder done, one and done. You literally, the way speakers make good money is that, a university or a corporation or a group, you go and do it, and they loved what you did so much, they want you back twice a year or once a year, and they book you out for the next 3 or 4 years. You've got 12 major gigs coming up and you've got your 2 years booked. That is better than trying to find new gigs. And most
Right.
speakers are on the rat race of, oh, I did that. Now I got to find the next one
Hmm.
instead of having their year booked with however many speaking gigs they want. And whether that's a money thing or a time thing, I like to design, I'm a strategist. I like
Hmm.
to go, what is my perfect speaking year?
Hmm.
Right? Is it this much money, or is it these types of spaces, or is it this many times? And do you have any like idea at all about what that container looks like?
I do actually. I've been thinking about the long-term plan whether thinking about what I want the next 15 to 20 years of my life to look like. I want to do things that I enjoy, and that bring me joy. So with that in mind, speaking twice a month, combined with my performances, which might also be, 2 to 5 times a month or something, thinking about what a healthy work-life balance is going to be, but keep me I mean, I'm a workaholic, like I find many of us to be. And, so it's really not work, but I want to casually use the word work. I want to work in a way that's going to bring me joy, and with enough frequency that indeed does give me the enough opportunities to engage, opportunities to meet new people, travel to where I might need to travel to speak or perform, um, but also find a way to monetize the things that bring me joy, so that they do land in a revenue generating space as well. I mean, no need to not be real about that, right? So that's a combination of things that will bring me joy, that I would enjoy doing, that will also become a revenue stream.
Yeah. And I love that you said that. We should not be ashamed of or shrink from the fact that we want to make money doing something. There is nothing wrong with that. And when people are like, well, I don't know, then money is energy just like anything else. Money's not coming to us when we're not willing to claim it. So
Right.
when you say, I think about what you just said, perform 2 to 5 times a month, speak 2 times a month. I'm like, oh, heck no. That for me is like, no, I wouldn't want to do that because it seems like way too much stuff on my schedule. That's why we're all different.
Hmm.
So if you look at that and you had to prioritize, you know, um, the the three big ones, like how much money it is, where is it, and the quality of the event, right? So what of three, which one draws you, which one are you like the most, like lining up? I have a performance, my performances are booked out 6 months ahead of time, I'm trying to get a gig in a location that's near that, or the kind of the amount of people that are at it, or the money. How do you think you look at all those?
No, I appreciate and hear the thought of efficiency, as you are as a strategist. Uh, I think so, and I'll just say a little bit of context. My points of reference is that I have lived a life where I have had a full-time teaching job and performed 5 times a week. So,
Wow.
with that in mind, that lightens the load from that reference.
You're like, this is on vacation.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, it is. I would be driven by the financial opportunity that it is. I know how to put things together in a certain way, and I've kind of limped along doing it that way. But
Mhm.
formalizing it with being compensated at a level at which I see my value is likely going to be the most important, and it's likely going to keep me at the manageable amount that I just described.
Well, there you go. And so then as a speaker, what do you like? Where's your comfort zone? Like when you think about money, how much you're going to get for a single talk, what comes up? What's the number that comes up in your mind?
$10,000.
Okay. A keynote, a 50-minute talk or the day, or like, what are you thinking there? Keynote?
And that answer is a little bit based on some research I've done, which again, I'm here to ask the expert. But yeah, the average being 5 to 10, and varying levels of experience. I see where people are in a 50-minute zone. I think I'm at the upper end, and what I have to share once collected is at the upper end. So 50-minute talk for $10,000 plus expenses is my
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. And I like it. And when you say it, I hear the confidence in that. So I don't hear you going, ooh, 10,000, like I don't feel you leaning back. I feel you leaning into it. So that's awesome. People have asked, there's always how much will somebody pay? What am I worth? What I'm like, well, we're priceless, but what will somebody pay for your level of expertise on a stage has to really do with your professionalism. Are you a pain to work with? Or do you
Right.
have your contracts, you have your emails, you have your SOPs, standard operating practices for how you handle a speaker booker or an event, right?
Mhm.
So the
Right.
professionalism is real. Like, do you show up on time? Are you flexible when things go wrong? Because things always go wrong. You need to have flexibility, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Because you're as a performer, you know that.
Absolutely. But my reference points as a performer and as a classical musician, things are just so, and they're not as flexible. But the other side of that is a jazz musician, improvisation is the very lifeblood of what that music is. So
Right.
if that's not
Yeah.
in you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. But even as a professional musician, the thing's going to start at 8 and
Yeah.
they are going to open the door at, 7, but you show up at the door and nobody's there at 7. And so you can't lose it. You got to like maintain that you're not going to do everything you think you're going to do to warm up right before. I mean, that's the world of speaking. That's the world of performing is
Hmm.
tech stuff goes wrong. Things happen. Sometimes for speaking, they said you had a 50-minute keynote. And then right before you get on stage, they're like, I'm really sorry. You only have 30 minutes.
Hmm. Right. So you got to roll with it. So no, that stuff doesn't rattle me. In fact, it's a
Yeah.
part of our DNA. As a professor, I've had to be flexible. When I worked in law firms, we had to be flexible. So I'm just used to that. I mean, just last week, I was at an event, just checking out some other speakers, and true to your point, there was a very tight schedule, and it was they were on it until the governor entered in the equation.
Right.
And we changed it so the speaker, he was late. Then the speaker after him had to adjust it so we could get back on schedule. So your 50-minute talk now becomes 37 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to be able to pivot. And so the long answer to that I lean into those things because I'm able to function on my feet that way.
Yeah, I love that. And that's going to help a lot of people listening to this too, that like are wondering, you've got that skill set, which also means the 10. So these are vetting like the 10K. Why should you be instead of 5, 10? One, you're experienced on stage. Two, you flexible. Three, you're a professional. These things. And then the most important part, why people get paid more money than not is because they have a solid signature talk. They understand that their story is not the main event of their talk. It's only the credibility authority piece to get the emotional experience right in it and not over talking the problem. Most people talk about the problems too much.
Mm,
And that is where the difference between a great speaker who gets the big money and somebody who doesn't is that the great speaker is not shooting from the hip anymore. They have one or two signature talks that they do over, and it's kind of like your musical piece, over and over again.
Hmm.
And they get so good at it that they can shorten or expand it as needed when the time happens.
Right.
And it's so specific that a speaker booker knows what they're talking about. So these things like pain to purpose, help, just stop now. What does that
Mm.
even mean? So
Yeah.
nailing your target market, nailing the thing that you're teaching. And what you and I talk about, North Star statements when I'm working with people in the TEDx world, how to come up with an idea. It's the same thing when you want to be a pro speaker. Um, I had a client divorced. I talk about this all the time, and people need to hear it all the time because we know we have to hear it like a whole bunch of times before people get it.
Mm.
I had a speaking client. She was a dating coach. That's what she was. And she would compete with all the other dating coaches for spots to speak. Dating coach, find your true potential love. What does that even mean? Now,
Right.
now she went from a sometimes making six figures, right, to $1 million speaker by basically becoming the person who talks about this. When divorced women over 40 start dating, ask these two questions on their first date. She inserts the questions there.
Hmm.
They stop dating the man they just divorced and find better potential relationships.
Hmm.
That's the pivot. Everybody knows what she's talking about. They know who her audience is, what her solution is. There is no mystery. We don't want bookers to have to guess. And most people are like trying to make them guess too much. Full life potential, live your true values, be authentic. Nobody knows what that really means.
Right. Right.
So when it comes to that, there's the difference between a speaker that gets booked a lot and a speaker who gets an inconsistent booking.
Mm.
Yeah. Make sense?
Makes sense. Well, I feel like that's one of the opportunities before me. I have the things that I have earned that I can say in my elevator pitch that have the words Grammy nominated, Emmy nominated, Pulitzer Prize juror, uh, university. There are things that make me interesting enough to keep talking. But it's true when you get on stage. I think toward something I heard a long time ago. Somebody said, "I want to hear about your problem one time," and then that we're talking about solutions.
Yes, 100%. And most people think that they're just on and on and on about their problem the whole talk. And then at the end go, yay, and then I made it. You can too. Yeah,
Hmm.
like how? So not the how is the solution, the idea, all of that is the how, not the problem. So
Hmm.
okay, anything, what kind of help would you like, what support do you want from the Red Circle Collective? Like if somebody was you're like, hey, this is my shout out if you're listening to this, this is the things that I'm looking for. What are they?
Sure. I'm looking for people who struggled with putting, getting the story together. What are the one, two, or three talks? How do we craft that? I've got a bunch of stories and find my way into talking about them, but I really want to refine that so that not only does it land me in the five-figure and above speaker, but so that there is some continuity, that there is evidence of thought, and that I get to a place where I'm giving that speech enough, having the conversation enough, so that it really does become a part of uh, what just rolls off the tongue. And all of the issues are there. This is where my lawyer brain is kind of kicking in. All the issues are there, and the reasoning is there, the analysis are there, and it's built into the conversation so that I am I am speaking with people in a way that keeps me from talking at them, but talking with them,
Mm,
even though it's not necessarily responsive. But I want them
yeah.
to be able to connect with my story in a way that does have that impact and does leave them with some thought points at the very least, if not some solutions, by the time I hand the mic back.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, John, I really appreciate being here with us today and leading the charge as our first interview for Red Circle Collective.
All right.
It is always a pleasure to hang out with you for sure. And yeah, thanks. Any last parting word that you would like to say?
No, I'll just say to everybody here, and of course you leading us, I'm happy to be a part of the collective, and let's go get it.
Yes, awesome. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you. We will be back with other fantastic members from the Red Circle Collective.